Okay, so we'll do lower back and spine, and we'll take it nice and slow today. So if you grab a folded blanket, and we'll come up towards the wall, and we'll start in lying down against the wall. So this blanket here is just for under your head. So mum, if you don't have wool, or I think you've got some drawers there, but if not, you can put your feet up on the sofa there. So if you don't have a wall nearby, you can just go halfway like this and put your feet on the sofa, all right? So yogi's choice, just depending on what you've got in your local area. And otherwise, to come up to the wall, you can shuffle your bum along the wall there and just lie down, and then do like a little swivelly twist to the side and just bring this blanket under your head. So the blanket just helps the chin to come towards the chest a little bit, which helps then lengthen through the spine. So this pose is really great for relieving tension in the lower back because it allows the back to be straight. So quite often when we come into a forward fold, we naturally think about the legs becoming straight, and then the back can feel quite tight as we come forward. So by doing it this way, the legs are soft, but we're allowing the spine and the sacrum to lengthen onto the earth. So option with the arms to bring them out to the side. That might be quite nourishing to release through the front of the pecs there if your shoulders are quite tight. Or you can choose to bring the hands onto the belly and use them as a gentle guide to send your breath. So just taking the next few breaths to find a pose that suits your body, and allowing the body to ground here. So just finding a sense of arriving here with your breath and connecting to the earth beneath you. And just being kind to yourself as we land. Sometimes it takes a while to drop straight into a restorative practice. So perhaps just bringing the awareness to the physical sensations in your body. So if we're feeling any tightness in the lower back here, perhaps just bringing your awareness to that area and just noticing how you feel. Noticing how your body feels today. Just on a very physical level. And where you notice sensation, just send in the breath here. So bring an awareness here with the breath, bringing aliveness to sensation. And just welcoming everything that's here in your body into this practice today. And perhaps with an intention here to just nourish your body. Just nourish your body as it is. Coming as you are to gently release and unwind. And just feeling the weight of gravity here, allowing your body, assisting your body to ground to the earth. And feeling the natural bone stack of weight from the heels, the inner arches of the feet to the knees, and then down into the hip. And this assist of gravity through the legs to help the sacrum ground. And the bones feel heavy. And the muscles can soften down off of the bone into the earth. Just bringing your awareness to the connection between the whole of the back body and the earth. So the back of the head, the shoulders, the lower back, the hips, the juicy muscles either side of your spine, or maybe your spine and the elbows, backs of the hands. And just taking a breath into this connection. So breathe your body into the earth. And as you exhale, just continuing to release and soften. So taking a couple more breaths like that. Nice big breath into the back body. And as you exhale, just exhaling with slightly open lips. Just a controlled release. And then finding a natural rhythm to your breath. So start drawing your breath down into the belly. Maybe inhaling for the count of 4 or 5. And exhaling for the same. And as you find this steady breath, just notice the quality here. See where your breath goes. How does it enter the body? Where does it go? How does it leave? Is it challenging to hold a steady breath? And as we search into the depths of the belly with the breath, can we start to expand into the side body? Can we start to expand more into the sacrum? So we're creating space with the breath from the inside, from the depths of our inner map. And as we find this steady breath, it's taking a little check-in with yourself emotionally, energetically. Seeing how you're doing today. And however we may feel, we don't need to attach any stories or any words to that, just simply a sense of feeling and just noticing. How are you doing today? An invitation to set an intention for your practice. If nothing jumps to mind, perhaps just an intention to just move with compassion. Just be kind to those sticky areas of the body. Or perhaps considering why we came to the mat today. So we'll be here for just 2 more breaths. So if you feel any sensation in your body, again perhaps that's started to shift and change as we spend time in this pose, just bring an awareness there with the breath. Our last moment for us to use the breath to help dissolve, using that out breath. So really connecting to that, grounding through the out breath today. And then to come out of this pose, just take it nice and gently. So you can start to use the feet to just shuffle your body away from the wall a little bit. So give yourself a few inches of space between your sit bones and the wall, and then just allow the knees to soften. So however that lands for you. The knees may come to the chest, or if that's quite challenging on the lower back, again, just like a softness here, just allowing the knees to hang a little bit there above the body. And then taking some intuitive movement. So perhaps just some little circles there around your sacrum, or a little bit of movement from side to side. Perhaps moving the knees around the hips and staying connected to this movement here with your breath. And finding a rhythm here to this movement with your breath. Good. And then if you are still by the wall, taking a slow conscious transition, just coming back towards your mat. And I think both of you have got bolsters at home. If not, just grab a really large cushion. So we're going to take it quite slow today, actually, for now anyways, and just ease into the body. So grab either a bolster or a big cushion and just bring it next to your right hip, and then lengthen your legs down the mat. Just going to wait for everyone to be in the same space. Yeah, good. So let's keep the right knee bent for a moment and take the left knee up towards your chest. So with the right leg bent, you can allow the sacrum to be long on the earth again. So just finding a flattening here through the back body. And as you draw the left knee down towards your body, perhaps a gentle sort of massage of the sacrum here. And then allow the body to be soft, just breathing into the back body. Then lengthening your right leg and just reducing the angle on the left knee a bit, so bringing it more into a 90-degree angle. We're going to take it over onto the bolster, so coming into a spinal twist to the right. And just pop yourself up onto the right hip there, so the lower back is flat. And then option with the left arm, so again, just tuning in to see how it feels. You can either take it above your head or out to the side. So taking it out to the side will get more into the front of the pecs, and above your head might be more into the lats, the side body and the back of the shoulder. And again, just finding a out breath that allows you to ground. Keep sending the breath into the belly. And every end of your exhale, just allowing the belly to soften. So it's releasing any tension that you may be holding in this area of the body. And then from here, we'll gently come back to center. So you can use your hand for support there on that left knee as you come back. And then switching the legs, so bending the left knee and just having that up towards the ceiling, and then take your right knee towards the chest. And then just allow the right knee to soften down and help lengthen through the sacrum. So the reason that the left knee is bent, because I normally do this with straight legs, is that it just allows the lower back to connect to the earth. So finding more length here. You can also just lightly press into the left foot and just see how that helps to flatten through the base of the body. Soften your shoulders and your jaw. And then lengthen the left leg. Just gently reduce the angle on the right knee so it comes to more of a 90-degree. Take your bolster to the other side and then come into a spinal twist to your left, coming up onto the outside edge of the left hip. So the lower back is flat, the sacrum is flat. And then reaching the arm either overhead or out to the side. Just allowing the back of the right armpit to soften. So if the armpit doesn't soften towards the earth, we need to just lift the angle of or lift the right knee and pop some more props under there, and that will help the twist unwind a little bit. And again, connecting to your out breath. So quite often when our bodies hold tightness and tension throughout our day and it starts to become more noticeable, we need to connect and tap into the nervous system, because the nervous system is holding on. So by using that out breath, by connecting to the out breath, maybe lengthening it a little bit more than your inhale, we start to send a message to the nervous system. Saying it's okay to ground, it's all right to let go, we're here in this safe space. Good, and then gently coming back to center, just unwinding and bringing both of your feet up onto the mat here. So pressing into the heels. Let's bring the arms out to the side. So bringing the arms into a T shape. And using your feet, press into your heels and just lift your sacrum just like a centimetre off the floor. So we're curling the tailbone. And then pressing it back down and just releasing it the other way. So coming into some really gentle pelvic tilts. And just find a really soft rocking here of the sacrum. And finding a steadiness here with your breath. Just allowing the rest of the spine to sort of move with as a response to the base of your spine. So just letting the head and the shoulders just rock forward naturally. Again, just noticing any sensation in the body as you move. And then coming back to center, we'll roll onto one side. Using your hand for support, let your head come up last. So keeping relaxed through the neck. And then coming onto all fours. Bringing the hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. And then coming into a cat stretch. I always get them the wrong way around. So spread your fingers nice and wide and then press them into the earth and just extend your spine up towards the ceiling. And we'll take maybe 2 or 3 really nice long breaths here. So allow the tailbone to soften. And with every out breath, keep gently pressing into the earth. The belly draws back towards the spine, just feeling into any tightness around the muscles either side of your spine and your lower back. And then keeping this hollow shape in the body, come up onto the fingertips. So making your cat stretch a little bit taller on the front. And then tucking your tailbone a little bit more. Just finding a lengthening here of the tailbone. Good. And then use your fingertips to press your sit bones back towards your heels. And just do this nice and slow so you can feel a gentle unraveling in your spine. Walking the fingertips forward. So again, keeping this hollow shape in the body. So we're gonna keep lengthening into the lower back here. And just breathing into this shape. So taking this with softness. And just unwinding gently with the breath every step of the way down. And then just lifting the head, look towards your fingertips, walking the fingers to the right. And then just sinking the heart over to the right hand side. So maybe lengthening here through the left hand side of the body. And again, just sending the breath into where you feel it. So you can always use the fingertips to just press and gently come back up if any of this is too much pressure or breathing into too much tightness. And then inhaling back to center. And walking their fingertips over to the left and just lengthening your heart, softening down to the left hand side. Allowing a gentle tuck of the tailbone and sending the breath into the side body. And keep pressing through the soles of the feet. And then inhaling, coming back to center, coming back to all fours. You're going to take the right leg back and press into the heel. And see if you can, as you press back, just find a lengthening through the calf on the right hand side and then just gently moving front and back. Keeping the tailbone softly tucked and the belly drawing up towards the spine. Good. And then from here, take your left foot just 1 inch out to the left, tuck your right heel down. And then reaching your right arm up. So we come into a little balance here. Gently drawing the hips forwards and really grounding down through the outer edge of the top foot. So it's almost like we're asking the top foot to lengthen towards the earth. A gentle squeeze of the glutes and then maybe bringing the right arm overhead as you lengthen into the side body. Good, and then reaching that right arm back down. We're going to step both legs back to plank pose. And then bringing your right knee down. So we're now lengthening through the left heel and then just gently moving forward and back into the left leg. So again, depending on where tightness in the body is coming from, quite often we hold a lot in the hips and the belly from the soles of the feet, the backs of the legs as well. So just easing into all areas of the body. And then coming back to center, taking your right leg just 2 inches to the side, little kickstand, left heel spins in, and then left arm reaches up. Press the right hand away, so the right shoulder is sliding down the back. So rather than here, we're drawing it down. And the outer edge of the left foot grounds down. A gentle squeeze of the glutes. And maybe the left arm reaches over top. So as we bring the left arm over, make sure that the chest can still lift. So if the chest releases down, then we come back here. So we really want to find this lifting of the rib cage. And then releasing your left hand back down. I'm going to step into plank pose. Taking the knees down onto the earth. And then tuck your tailbone, so we're lengthening on the back body. Bend the elbows and just soften the heart down in between. Keep the shoulders lifted. Untuck the toes. And then bring in the hands, or the elbows rather, underneath the shoulders. So coming into Sphinx pose here. So something that might be quite nourishing again for your back in Sphinx pose is actually taking a low cushion or a blanket there under the hip bones. That's a really nice option. Untuck your toes, press your toes into the floor and tuck your tailbone so you find this lifting of the belly, this lengthening into the lower back. And then we can allow the shoulders to roll back and the heart reaches through. So the length here is coming from the thoracic, the upper part of our spine. And the jaw is soft, the head may lift, or maybe neutral, or maybe the eyes gaze just to the front of your mat there. So just feeling into this pose with a gentle step. And then releasing, bringing the heart back down, hands under shoulders, tuck toes, so option to come up through plank or just knees down as you lift back up, and then we'll send the hips back into a child's pose. And then making your way to downward facing dog, hands under shoulders, and lifting the hips up, lengthen through your armpits. And just have a little wiggle here from left to right as you ground down. Spread your toes nice and wide to make sure the feet are hip width apart. So we've got a nice connection to the earth here. Notice if your lower ribs flare towards the mat and draw them in so we come into the back body. And just notice that feeling, that difference there as we draw the ribs in. So we're supporting through the upper back, which allows the lower back to lengthen. And then maybe dropping the heels down to the left and taking a breath into the side body. Inhale back to center and exhale, dropping the heels over to the right. Breathing into the left side body. Keep drawing lower ribs to belly. Keep pressing into the knuckles. And then inhale, coming back to center. We'll reach the right leg up. But just keeping it in line with the hips, so trying not to bring the leg any higher. Keep drawing lower ribs to belly so you feel the glute nice and active. And then tiger curl, bringing the knee towards your nose, shoulders over wrist, squeeze thigh to belly. Look forward, step it through, left knee comes down, finding two 90-degree angles on the legs as you come into a box lunge. Press the feet into the floor and pull the mat apart and tuck your tailbone towards your belly towards your tailbone. So we feel this lengthening here of the sacrum, and then reaching the arms up. Notice if the ribs flare, keep drawing the lower ribs down. So we're really in the back body today. Right hand to left wrist, gentle bend over to the right. Keep pressing the feet into the earth. Pulling them out apart, the toes are spread wide. Good, and then inhale, coming back to center. We're going to reach into the fingertips, find a lengthening in your rib cage, and then as your right hip stays where it is, we're just going to turn over to the right. So taking a little twist here. So the right hip stays here, we keep lengthening through the spine and allowing this turn in the upper part of the rib cage. And then taking your right hand onto your sacrum, so fingertips facing down, and just gently press down. So allow that length as the left arm reaches up. Keep drawing lower belly back towards spine. Soften shoulders, releasing through the jaw. Good, and then taking your left elbow onto the outside of the right knee and taking a little twist over to the right. Good. And finding lengthening into your spine. So the crown of the head reaches away and the shoulders are rolling down the back, so the heart wants to come through. Staying nice and strong in the legs, right hip reaches back, left hip reaches forward. Good, inhale, come back to center. We'll reach the arms up in front and then lengthen into the left leg, so staying again long into the back body here. So just avoiding those sort of like archy lunges today. And then bringing the right hand down. Let's take fingertips to the earth on the inside of the right leg. The left heel spins in and then reaching the left arm up. Press your feet into the floor, pull the mat apart and tuck the tailbone in. So the right hip draws in and under and then up. Shoulder blades reaching down the back. Good. Soften your jaw. And really reaching into the outer edge of the back foot. Taking the left hand down under shoulder. We'll step back, downward facing dog. And just take a couple of waves here from plank to down dog. So you can wave with your spine here. You can start by tucking the tailbone and then roll it forward as the heart reaches through. And then gently press to come back up. So you can always bend the knees to arrive. And then again, rolling from the tailbone, reaching the heart through, and then gently sending it back. Good. Let's drop the heels down to the left. Keep drawing belly in and up. Breathe into the side body. And then inhale back to center, and exhale, drop the heels. Exhale, exhale, drop the heels over to the right. Again, keep drawing lower ribs to belly. Give the outer armpits a squeeze to support through the outside of the shoulders. Inhale back to center, and then reaching your left leg up. Lengthen into the heel. Notice if the belly drops, keep drawing belly in and up. And then bring a knee to nose, tiger curl, shoulders forward, squeeze thigh to belly, feel the belly active. Step it through, right knee down, 2 90-degree angles on the legs, low lunge. Press the feet into the floor, pull mat apart and tuck tailbone back towards spine, spine towards tailbone. Reaching the arms up, left hand to right wrist. And then lengthen, take a bend over to the left. Right ribs soften. Good. So as you pull the legs apart, we're lengthening here into the psoas. So it's this muscle that's from the lower back all the way down to the front of the thigh here, goes through the hip. So quite often a lot of tightness in this area is our psoas getting super tight. Inhale back to center, extend into the arms. Keep the left hip where it is, because sometimes it wants to move when we twist. So keep the left hip back as we turn. Taking a little twist, and then soften the shoulders, extend into the fingers, belly in and up. Taking right hand onto sacrum. Use the fingertips to draw the sacrum down, and then reaching the right arm up. Finding a softness here to that left shoulder. Good, and then allow the right elbow to come to the outside edge of the left knee. Left hand on top of right, and then as you turn to the left, finding a little twist here. So this lengthening of the back body. So your left hip is reaching up and back. We're lengthening through the back of the hamstring. Use your feet to find this twist, and then reach the crown of the head away from your sacrum. Good. And then inhale back to center. Find your feet, spread your toes, and then press into the balls of the feet to reach the arms up. Keep this length in the back body. Left fingertips come to inside of left foot, right heel spins in, and then reaching the right arm up. Press the feet into the floor, pull the mat apart, and tuck the tailbone in. Shoulders down the back, extend into the right arm. Really nice. And then right hand comes down, under shoulders, step it back, downward facing dog. Have a little wiggle, again, left to right. Just arriving, just releasing into your body as it feels intuitive. Maybe a breath out the mouth, just releasing any tension in the body. And then we'll take a walk up towards the hands. So maybe wiggling along the way and just continuing to feel into easing tension through the whole body. Let's bring the knees forward and allow the belly to soften down onto the knees. And release the crown of the head down. So if this is quite strong, if this is quite tight this morning, you could always just bring something under your hands here and just allow a bit more height into this forward fold. It's hard for me to demo that. My body's too foldy. So you can find that softness here. So support rather than using the weight of the arms to hang down. Good. And then bringing your fingertips out in front of your shoulders here. So you can bend the knees a lot if you need to. Spread your left toes nice and wide. So you're making two little tents here with your fingertips. Spread your left toes nice and wide and grip the floor with your toes. And then reach the right leg up. And then just gently bend the knee and open the hip over to the left. So notice if you're, again, if you want to sort of like drop your belly down and keep drawing your lower belly towards your spine. And then just press into the ball of the left foot and just feel that engage through the outside of the left hip. And then press through the ball of the little toe on the left hand side and see how that engages through the inside of the thigh. Slightly bending the left knee. Keep drawing the right shoulder down. Sending breath into the side body. Good, releasing the right leg down. Nice and gentle transition to the other side. So spread your toes nice and wide on the right. And then lifting the left leg up and gently bend the knee, open the hip over to the right. So you can take a little bend in that knee, spread your toes nice and wide. Press into the ball of the big toe and then energetically feel that strengthen towards the outside of the right hip. And press into the ball of the little toe and feel that lengthen, strengthen up to the inside of the thigh, inside of the groin. So we're grounding through the whole of the foot. Feel the heel ground as well as the ball of the foot, so we're centered. And then reaching that left leg down. Bend the knees again, come into a little forward fold, and then just slowly unravel. So take the weight into your feet, really feel the strength from the earth as we come up towards standing. And then we'll reach the arms all the way up, bringing the hands together, and then exhale, bringing the hands towards heart. Let's bring the hands either side of the body and actually just allow the fingertips to soften. So just here in a very natural standing pose and just feel the earth underneath your feet. Notice where the weight lies. Drawing the weight forward so you feel the balls of the feet switching on, and then drawing the weight back so you feel the heels and the back body switching on. And then can we find this balance between the two? Can we feel the weight in the balls of the feet but still feel the heels in this active through the back body? So we're supporting through the back body. Can we allow the tailbone to soften and the belly to draw in and up? So feeling centered and supported. And then reaching your left arm up. Allow the right shoulder to be soft and then just allow it to soften as you take a little bend over to the right. So keeping the body centered here. Notice if your ribs flare and draw your ribs in. So we're only turning as far as the body goes to the side. And again, keeping that softness here. Inhale back to center, releasing your left arm down and reaching your right arm up. Allow the left shoulder to be soft, and then just reaching into the side body. Again, staying centered in the feet, keeping this steady breath. And then inhale, coming back to center. Let's reach the arms up. And then leading, hands come through heart, just soften the tailbone down. So find a wateriness to this forward fold. As we come down, hands towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, bring the hands to the shins, press them together, and roll the shoulders back, and stick your bum up and back. Keep belly towards spine. Good. And then exhale, hands come down. We're gonna step back from here to plank pose. Push the ground away, bring the knees down to the floor, keep the tailbone tucked, and then squeeze the elbows in as you come all the way down onto your belly, keeping the shoulders lifted. Hands come underneath shoulders for Sphinx. Press tops of feet into the floor, tuck tailbone and roll shoulders back and lift through the heart. As you exhale, lengthen the ribs as you lower. Release the elbows, hands under shoulders, knees down if you need. Pressing up through plank and then downward facing dog. Good, let's inhale. Left leg steps forward. We're going to come straight into a warrior two. So cupping the back heel in. So finding a nice long stance on your legs. And then use the feet to reach into the arms as we open into a warrior two. So the back foot is either parallel or the toes are slightly in, depending on how the hips feel. Allow the shoulders to be soft as your gaze lengthens along the front fingertips. Press your feet into the floor, pull the mat apart and tuck the tailbone. Can we lengthen through the back body? And then taking your right hand, sliding it down, or just bringing it onto the thigh there. And then as you take this left arm back, we're gonna reach it forward and up. So finding an arc as we sweep across the front body and then reaching it up and overhead. So rather than a back bend, we're coming into more of a side stretch. So reaching up through the left-hand side of the lower back. Keeping the tailbone tucking down, so keep lengthening into this area of the body. And then inhale, coming back to center. We're gonna cup the left leg in and then the right heel in. So we take triangle pose to the other side, to the back of your mat. Extend into the right arm, reach as far as you can, tuck the right hip up and back, and then allow the right hand to soften down onto the front of the leg. The left arm reaches up. And then press your feet into the floor, pull the mat apart and tuck the tailbone. Searching for a similar sensation on the left hand side of the back as the last pose. So this is your QL. This big chunky muscle that runs around from the side of the abs and connects to the lower parts of the spine. So just sending your breath into here, releasing through this muscle which takes a lot of holding in the body. Good, and then to come back up, reach into the top hand, use it to take the weight as you lift. So providing support by reaching into the edges of this pose, and then taking both feet, we'll turn towards the front of the mat and the back foot spins forward. We're going to reach the arms out in front, so keeping a gentle bend in the front knee if you need to, but the legs are working towards straight. And then extend, 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 and allow the right hand to come down to the earth fingertips. So you might need to take a block here under your right hand. Good. The left hip stays up and back, so turn your hips, and then take a really gentle twist to your left. So working into the outer edge of the left hip. And think lengthen your spine, so the crown of the head is drawing away from the sacrum. Really nice, good. Inhale to come back to center. We'll bring the hands down under the shoulders and step back to downward facing dog. Maybe sinking the hips, the heels down to the left, and then maybe sinking the heels down to the right. And then we'll take that to the other side. So stepping the right leg forward and finding a warrior two position with your legs. So imaginary line in between both feet, find your feet, and then press to come up to standing and open the arms out. So the hips come towards the side of the mat. Plug your feet into the floor and then pull the mat apart and tuck the tailbone. The shoulders are soft. Bring the left hand down the back thigh and then scooping the right arm up and in front. So creating that curve, that arc in the side body. Keep tucking tailbone, and then we're lengthening through the right hand side of the back. Sending breath into sensation. Inhale back to center. Lengthen the right leg, tucking the toes in so the feet come parallel. And then the left heel spins in as we take Trikonasana to the back of the mat. Reaching into the left arm. As you do that, the left hip comes up and back. Allow the left hand to reach down onto the front thigh or the front shin and reaching the right arm up. Press the feet into the floor, pull the mat apart, tuck the tailbone. Again, as you tuck the tailbone, feeling into this lengthening down the back of the right hand side of the body. Use your fingertips to reach back up. Use your feet. So taking that pressure out of the rest of the body. Tuck the back foot in and spin both feet forward, coming onto the back toes. Reaching the arms up. So turn your hips, right hip back, left hip forward, so the hips are in line. And then bending the front knee a little bit if you need to. Coming forward. So this is into extended pyramid pose with the arms out in front. And then left fingertips come down under left shoulder. Draw the left shoulder down the back, keep the right hip back, and then turn to the right. Find a lengthening here from the crown of your head to your sacrum. Sending breath into your sensation. Again, finding a softness here to your edges. And then right hand reaches down, step it back. Downward facing dog. Taking the heels down to the left. Inhale back to center, exhale, drop the heels to the right. Inhale back to center, and then taking a step towards the hands. Halfway lift, hands to shins, shins to hands, roll shoulders back. And then exhale, bend the knees, allow the body to soften down. Relax the head. Coming back to standing, press into the feet. The neck and the arms are soft as you reach the arms all the way up. And then exhale, bringing the hands to heart. And again, just finding a centering here through the soles of your feet. Spread the toes nice and wide. Gently shifting the weight forward so you feel the balls of the foot and the toes switch on. And then taking the weight back. Feel the heels, the back line of the body switch on. Perhaps one of these spaces feels more nourishing for you. And then can we find a middle ground with the balls of the feet and the heels connected, a gentle lift through the inner arch of the foot. And then meeting yourself here with your breath. And then releasing the hands either side of the body. We'll take a little balance today. So eagle wrap, bringing your right knee up towards your chest. And then either taking a full wrap, hooking the foot round, or a little half wrap on top. Squeeze the legs together. So quite often this right hip will want to come to the side. Can we squeeze it back down, keep the hips square? A gentle lengthening of the tailbone, reaching the arms up. Then bringing the left arm underneath right, wrapping the backs of the hands or palms of hands together, shoulders down the back, and then lead with your bottom elbow. So as you lead up with the elbow, can we draw the tailbone down? So again, we're lengthening into the back body, drawing the belly in and back. Maybe we take a little twist to the right, a gentle decompression of the mid-spine. And then inhale, coming back to center, releasing the arms up, bringing the knee towards the chest. Again, a lengthening of the tailbone. Allowing the ribs to lengthen and the belly to soften. Filling the space in between with your breath. And then releasing that right leg down, transferring the weight, taking the left knee to your chest or to the line with the hip. And then bringing it over the right knee. Finding your eagle wrap, whether that's a half or a full wrap, drawing the left hip back, reaching the arms up, taking the right arm underneath your left, either a full wrap or a half, backs to hands, shoulders down, lead with bottom elbow. So as you lead with the bottom elbow, the ribs soften, feeling the breath coming into the back body, feeling the sacrum, the tailbone with your breath, maybe taking a little twist with the upper part of your spine to the left. Inhale back to center, releasing the arms, reaching the fingertips up, bringing your left knee up towards your chest. As the knee comes up, the tailbone reaches down towards the right heel. Good. And then bringing your left leg down, releasing the arms. Good. Let's come into a wide-legged position. Outer edges of feet parallel. And then press your feet into the floor and pull them out apart so you feel the outer pocket of the hip engage. Tuck your tailbone, bend the knees a bit, and we'll just slowly come into this forward fold. So again, thinking compassion and kindness here as you unravel. Just allow the head to soften. You can bring the hands for support underneath the shoulders as you come all the way down. And then pressing into the fingertips, coming up halfway. We're going to bend to the left knee as we scoot over to the left and come down to sitting on the earth. Yeah, bringing the left leg out, so coming into a wide-legged position. So you may want to sit on a blanket here or just like a low height. Really helps just lengthen the tailbone. Even if we normally do this pose on the floor, it's still really nourishing in this way. And we're just going to take a really gentle forward fold here. So perhaps this forward fold actually looks like this to you. Perhaps we're just seated and this is enough. Or perhaps we can just bring the fingertips gently forward. So keeping a lengthening through the back body, a reaching through of the heart, a tucking of the tailbone, and the shoulders soften either side of the neck. Sending breath into sensation. So sometimes if we take a pose where it's a bit more gentle than we might normally, perhaps we feel something different. And just finding that steady breath here, down into the belly. And then walking the fingertips back towards the body and just bringing the knees up. So coming into like a little froggy position with the knees, and then taking your hands just in front of the legs there. Let's take the left hand to the inside of that left leg, so just sort of planting it there, or fingertips to the floor, and then reaching into the right and just taking a little side stretch here, and allowing your tailbone to soften. Just breathing into the side body, the side ribs. Releasing the jaw. And then coming back to center, taking your right fingertips to the earth and reaching your left arm up. Allow the tailbone to soften. Breathing into the side ribs, softening the shoulders. Inhale, coming back to center. We'll come back down onto the back body. So options here, depending on how you're feeling. So you can either take feet wide and draw your knees into the center, and then you can press into the feet to lengthen the tailbone, and this may be enough. Otherwise, you could bring a block or your bolster under the sacrum and take a supported bridge, and then bring the heels here. So if you bring the heels under the knees rather than further forward, so quite often we lengthen here. If you bring the heels under the knees, we've got more support from the legs and the lower back. And then we'll stay here. We'll take maybe 2 or 3 minutes in this pose. So again, you can bring the arms out to the side. You may want to bring the hands onto the belly. And connecting here down through your back body again to the earth. Finding a softness here with your out breath. So invitation to take a gentle scan again around your body. And just noticing the sensations, the shifts, the changes. And bring in awareness there with your breath. Connecting again with the exhale. So as we breathe in, the heart speeds up. And as we breathe out, the heart speeds down. So as we lengthen the exhale, again reconnecting to sending that message to our nervous system to allow us to unwind, or to help us ground and unwind. Releasing those patterns of tension, tightness, those patterns of holding. And then we'll gently unwind from here. So using your heels to lift your hips and moving your prop to one side. And then as the hips are lifted, keep pressing into your heels to allow the tailbone to lengthen as you connect it back down towards the earth. So again, lengthening into the back body there. And just settle here. Just take a breath here. And allow that out breath to help you sink and land. And then bring your awareness to your thighs and see if you can just relax your thighs. See if you can switch off. So allow that natural bone stack of the legs to keep your structure here, and then soften your muscles. See if you can soften through the hip flexors and the belly. So this whole center part of your body, it's this big invitation to just completely let go. Just trusting our structure, that connection to earth, to hold us here, allowing that space to release and unwind. And then taking your right leg, we'll cross it over the left. So coming into a little figure 4 here. You can bring the left knee up towards your chest, and then option again, so you can use your bolster here to give yourself a second support on that left leg. So that may be enough, just taking a really soft invitation into this pose, and you can use your right hand there to just support underneath the right thigh. And maybe that's enough. Maybe we don't need to bring the left knee towards the chest. Or option to do just that and interlace. So just seeing what feels more nourishing for you. And perhaps it's about taking a step back today rather than going to where we normally do things. And then releasing that right leg and bringing the left knee up towards, crossing it over the right, keeping your right foot up on the bolster here. And again, maybe this is enough, using the left hand to support there under the thigh. Or maybe we want to bring the right knee to chest. So yogi's choice. Allowing the jaw, the heart, the shoulders to soften. Good, and then releasing the left leg. Bringing the feet back down onto the bolster. So we've got a gentle lift there through the feet. And then bringing your hands onto the thighs, taking the heel of your hand and bringing it all the way down into the top of your hip flexors. And then just gently sort of pouring into the hip flexors on the front here. And just giving a little massage as you move from left to right. So if I could describe the feeling, it's like, you know, when a cat wants to paw you. So that little gentle pouring here, and then land both of your heels in, heel of the hand in, and then just gently press your thighs towards your knees. Release any tension in the rest of the body and allow the sacrum to hang heavy. So we're creating this space in the front of the hip. Good, and then release. So option as we come into Shavasana is to keep the knees together and the lower back long, or you can place a bolster under your knees. So either of those will just help release pressure on the lower back. So you're just slowly making your way into our final resting pose. Allowing the backs of the hands to be heavy and the legs to fall out to the side. And just taking a little check-in, again, a little scan through your body, just make sure that we're not holding any tension anywhere. And then let's inhale, let's take a big breath in together. Inhale into your belly. And then as you exhale through pursed lips, just allowing the body to land. We'll take one more of those together. Inhale. And then allowing your body to ground. The bones are heavy and the muscles are soft. As every out breath guides you into a deeper sense of relaxation and restoration. And starting to bring your awareness back into the body. Deepening the breath. Just becoming aware of the space and the sensations around you. And finding some gentle movement in the body, the fingers and the feet. Maybe moving the head from side to side. And slowly waking up. We'll make our way from here onto one side. Just a final moment to pause. Just allow the body to soften. And then using your hands for support, we'll come up to seated. And just reaching back into your spine, lengthening. Allowing the gaze to lower or the eyes to soften. Bringing the hands to the heart space. Closing our practice today with a chant of Om. Inhale. Om. Bringing your thumbs to your foreheads. Bowing your heads to the earth. Namaste. Hello.